Good step. It's a big one. Thank you.
All right, we are now joined by the winner of tonight's...
Well, unless you count what's stripping off me.
We're now joined by the winner of tonight's Coke Zero 400 powered by Coca-Cola, the driver of the number 2 Detroit Genuine Parts Ford, Brad Keselowski. Brad, obviously a pretty big night for you. It's your first win here at Daytona. Also marks win number 100 for Team Penske. Talk a little bit about what it meant for you tonight.
Well, there's a lot of numbers. Hold on, let me see if I can get them all right. This is 250th start, year 50 for Team Penske, 100th Cup win for Team Penske, my 20th win. Which ones am I missing? And we finished first. I like that number the best. But really happy and proud for our team to be in victory lane tonight. Was a good effort for us for sure. The wins are never easy to come by. And I think this one means a lot to me for sure because, looking at our past here, it hasn't been all that rosy. I was telling Roger Pence when I was in victory lane and the fireworks are going off, usually I'm loading up the car and about to be to the airport. And so it's nice to be here and have a great finish. And, we brought a completely different effort than what we've, normally had here, and completely different approach, which was made feasible by having the 2 wins early in the season and knowing that we could try something different here. And, boy, did it pay off. So a lot of credit to my team, Paul Wolf, crew chief, for all the things that they're doing. And 3 wins, midpoint in the season. That's a good start. Of course, we want to finish it off and win another championship. And I think I told you guys at Pocono, or told a bunch of the people that were at Pocono, that I was ready for the chase to start right now, and I'm still ready for it to start right now. Let's go. I feel like we've got a great effort. And we're as good as we've ever been, if not better, and we're ready.
We're going to open up to questions for Brad. Please state your name and affiliation when you get the microphone. We'll start up here with Jerry and then go to Jordan and Bob.
Jerry Jordan, Performance Racing Network, and Kicking the Tires right here. Take us through that last couple laps there with you and Kurt, and then what happened there, and you obviously pulling away.
Restarts are so critical, and I got a great push from my teammate, Joey Logano, that helped put me in position to kind of establish the lead and be able to make the moves you need to make to hold off the lanes. And Kurt had a couple really good runs. I thought he might have had me one time, and I was able to get up in front of him just at the last second. So Daytona, Talladega plate racing at its finest right there. So interesting how it all played out. And, of course, we feel glad to be able to get where we're at. These races can easily fall apart on us very quickly. Great shot that it was going to do that at the start. We had a bunch of debris on the nose, and the car was, overheating dramatically. And a lot of credit to Doug Yates and his team for putting together a strong power plant that could resist the temptation there when it was really hot. So, just a lot of things going on, and glad to put it all together.
We'll go to Jordan, then Bob, then upstairs for a question.
Jordan Bianchi, SBNation.com. Brad, you look at the victory since 2009 at Talladega, Daytona. You've got more than any other driver, 5. The next best is 3. Where do you consider yourself compared to the other drivers at Daytona and Talladega?
Yeah, well, Talladega looks real good. Daytona, not so much. There's a lot of great drivers on these plate races, and a lot of variables to put them all together, and those numbers could shift a lot of ways fairly easily. So it's hard to make a comparison, but when we have a great car like we did today, I feel like I can compete and make a run for it. You always got to have the car, but when you have the car, you got to make the most of it, and we were able to do both today.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Is this a big deal to win at Daytona because of just the history and the track, or is it because of the type of racing and the way
I think for me it's the track. I've had very, very little success here. It's been one of our worst tracks, quite honestly, Bob, next to probably Sonoma. And, thinking about that, I don't know if we had the highest of expectations. But Daytona is always a big race to have success at. I know it maybe doesn't feel the same way because, this isn't the 500, but it's still a big deal to me. My family's been coming here for a long time, and I've had 0 success here as a driver. I think we've led a lot of laps in Xfinity and Cup and even some in truck and haven't been able to close it out. So to do it tonight is a big deal for me personally.
We're going to go upstairs to the press box, and then we'll go to George and Jeff.
Chris Knight, CatchFans.com. Brad, considering your success on speedways as of late, was this the strongest car that you've ever had?
Definitely the best car I've ever had here at Daytona, but I don't know if it was the strongest car I've ever had. We've had some good cars over the years at probably Loudon, Kentucky, and a handful of other races, but this is definitely the best car I've ever had at Daytona, and I'm glad I didn't waste it.
Go to George.
Yeah, Brad, George Diaz, Orlando Sentinel in the back. With the 3 victories, as you alluded to, still a lot of laps to be raced, but how good do you feel about this season so far?
Really good. 3 wins, midpoint in the season, and, that if we're going back to numbers, gives us a good shot of winning 6 wins, which is the best season we've ever had. Not that that's where I want to stop or that it's a guarantee either way. But it's still a good place to be in. And, Joey Logano and I were talking the other day. A Team Penske car has won the most races, I think, is it 3 out of the last 3 out of the last 4 seasons. And so that's something we're proud of and we'd like to keep it going. And every win counts.
Go to Jeff and then Dustin.
Jeff Clark from USA Today. After the race, when people were asking your peers about your restricted prowess and how good you've been here, they were more eager to give credit to your car. I know you touched on
I
the
would be
car,
too.
Is that okay with you that they're more thinking your car?
Yeah,
was the reason?
it's easy to get caught up in the semantics, but I would much rather be caught up in the trophies. And I'm just happy with where we're at. I think that those are always things that are used as a distraction. So, I think I'm just happy to be where I'm at. I'd flattered if they say something nice, and if they don't, and you take it for what it's worth as a grain of salt. But I'm not worried about it.
We'll go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. I don't want to rain on the parade, so but when you talk about feeling,
Are you going to be Eeyore tonight?
I will be.
I thought it was Bob.
I'm taking it over tonight. When you talk about having the 3 wins, and obviously I don't want to make light of that, but with 2 of them coming on plate tracks, only one such plate track in the chase. When you talk about feeling good, what are the things that you're seeing? That because this, I'm guessing, not much translates from here or Talladega other than for one race in the chase.
Yep.
So why do you feel good? Why should people feel good about you? Because 2/3 of your wins have come at tracks that, in one sense, plays such a small part in the chase.
Well, I think the first part of my answer would be is that, I don't necessarily feel like I need to sell myself to people to make them feel good. Like, I feel good about it myself. And so any question where I answer about how I feel good about it is really reflective of my genuine thoughts and feelings, not an attempt. I'm not being a car salesman up here, so I would say that would be my first part of the answer. But why do I feel good is, we've had a lot of consistency. The last few weeks, I think we finished in the top 10 or top 5 8 or 9 times in the last 10 weeks. So a lot of consistency there. A lot of close calls. Pocono, we had a great shot at winning. Trying to think, the All-Star race, we were right up there, had a shot at winning, leading laps. So there's been some races that haven't quite been as strong as well, in fairness. But even the races where we're not quite as strong, we seem to be right there in that 5th to 10th place range, which is, a lot of what the chase is. A lot of what the chase is go run 5th to 10th every week, and you'll find yourself in Homestead, and then you got to go win Homestead. So good consistency is a great trademark of a championship-winning team, and I feel that out of my team right now. I don't feel like I need to sell that to anyone else, but that's how I feel about it myself.
We'll go to Mike in the back.
Mike Hembry, USA Today. Brad, considering your recent record at plate tracks, if you go to Talladega in the fall in a situation where you had to win the race, you feel fairly confident in what you guys can do there?
Yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot. Rules could change 3 times from then. So it's hard to answer that right now, but I think that we're definitely heading the right direction, and we have that opportunity. Those tracks, it's harder than anywhere else to really feel great about it, but you always feel like you have an opportunity when you're fast, and we have fast cars at those tracks right now.
We'll go to Bob.
Bob Huckers, ESPN. I will do a little your. Why have you been so bad here?
Why? Well, I think
Especially when you're so good at Talladega. I mean, it doesn't seem to really make a ton of sense.
I think from the get-go we've been really strong at Talladega, and we've used a lot of that approach coming here, and it's been awful. This is quite honestly the first time as a team that we've came to Daytona with a completely different approach than what we've had at Talladega, and it paid off with immediate results. So I'm really thrilled for that for my team and for what that says about them willing to try new things and work forward. I think that from my perspective, what comes to mind is we came here for the 500, ran awful, went to Talladega and won, and a good way. And there's a lot to be said for that as a team of probably looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, maybe we do need to do something different. And that might sound easy to come to, but there's a lot of roadblocks and barriers for a team to come together and be able to say that. So I'm proud that we were all able to do that, that I was willing to try different things, and that the team was willing to try different things on the car, and we were able to put all those pieces together.
We'll go to Holly in the front.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Could you talk a little bit about getting that 100 win for the organization? And you spoke about it briefly, but I got to imagine that's a pretty big deal for you.
It's a huge deal, Hal. 100 wins for Roger here at the Sprint Cup level. I know his next goal will be 200. I'll probably hear it tomorrow. He'll want to know, when are we getting to 200? Someone gave me a stat. Well, over the last 2 or 3 years since Joey's been on board, between the two of us, we've won 20 or 30% of all the races Penske's ever won in Cup. So we're certainly in a great spot. But the captain, he likes to look forward, and I think that's a good thing.
All right, Brad. Well, congratulations on the win tonight and
you.
all the other milestones you hit.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.